In this video, I'm going to showcase exactly how we made $74,130 cash collected in 7 days for one of our clients and brought him from 100 followers to 12,000 followers in 2 months, and also scaled him from 2K a month to $150,000 per month in a matter of 2 months alone. I'm going to go through the exact processes needed, what we changed, and what our plans are for the future to scale him up to $500,000 per month. As you can see right here, we had $7,230 collected from one processor in 1 week alone, $27,400 in 1 week alone, and then $39,500 to equal $74,130 cash collected in a matter of 7 days. Now, Chase, when we signed him, he had a few very core problems. First and foremost was a very big revenue problem. He was selling a low-ticket MRR community, teaching people how to make money with TikTok Shop, and it was making about 7K per month in revenue. That was about his best month, was 7K a month. He had about 5K a month in expenses, and was only netting about $2,000 per month with his info coaching business. He also had a very big audience problem. This was probably one of the core issues that he was facing, was he only had about 100 followers on Instagram. This was taken about 2 months ago. As you can see, only 100 followers, and had very little traffic coming into his actual offer. And when it came to his actual offer too, he only had his low ticket community. He didn't have any high ticket offer, so he was missing a ton of money on the table for the people that want to pay him more for more hands-on and direct access. He had a very low perceived value, low ticket MRR community that was just bleeding money every single month with no proper funnel, no proper backend, and no content strategies or sales processes in place. However, he did have an amazing business model that he kind of pioneered and invented, which is what we call TikTok Shop automation now. So essentially, before he started this business, he was teaching people and doing the same thing himself, where he would make bottom of funnel videos. It's a specific kind of video that you're making for TikTok Shop, where you're essentially selling the sale. Let's say that this was the product I wanted to sell. I would make a video that's 50% off. Today is the last day you can buy it, something like that. And he, instead of being the person that's going to make the content himself, he decided to outsource that work to UGC creators, essentially paying them hourly and then pocketing the commission that he generates from the videos that the UGC creator is making. Essentially an arbitrage model to automate the work that goes into making content, going viral, posting videos for TikTok Shop itself. With this business model, he was able to scale it to about 40K per month. He's scaling it even further now. And this gave him his active proof of concept that he needed to be able to essentially reposition himself as the authority within the TikTok Shop automation category, essentially a business model that he invented. So with this, we crafted a brand new offer, a high ticket offer, teaching people how to make money with TikTok Shop automation. And with that, we essentially attracted people that want to make $10, $20, $30, $40, $50,000 per month without needing to create content, go viral, or ever show their face. And really just went after entrepreneurs who wanted to monetize off camera, didn't really want to have to show their face to be able to make money on social media platforms. Our unique mechanism was TikTok Shop automation. It was the first ever of its kind. There's no other business model or no other offer like this that teaches people how to automate TikTok Shop. And in terms of the actual offer itself, we essentially gave them every single thing that they needed to know and need to have to be able to replicate the same results for themselves. So we gave them all of the SOPs to give to UGC creators to train them up. We gave them all the systems, all the operations, gave them one-on-one mentorship, gave them group coaching. And obviously the results for the people that got inside, they saw amazing results, and it just allowed us to scale the offer quicker and quicker. So we started the offer with a price point of $4,000. We just increased the price to about $5,000, and we're planning to increase it to $7,500 in the future as well. But like I said before, the biggest issue for Chase was the lack of content, was him only having 100 followers on Instagram. So the biggest thing that we did to fix this issue was integrate a content strategy that built authority for him. So there's 4 different kinds of content that he needed to be posting to build authority and position himself as the authority within the TikTok Shop automation niche. First and foremost was educational content. So these are videos that kind of just give people value, teach them something on the actual business model that you're selling. So in this case, teaching people TikTok Shop strategies, teaching people the automation strategies that go into it, how to train UGC creators, all that kind of stuff. And then on top of that, it's also going to be lifestyle content, kind of showcasing the results and the freedom that you're able to achieve from pursuing that specific business model. On top of that, it's going to be mindset content. So this is content that shifts somebody's mindset. It will pre-handle objections. It shifts the way that they think about certain things. This is very beneficial, especially for the sales calls itself, because if you're able to kind of, before they hop on a sales call, shift the way they think about certain things. They think about investing themselves or getting a mentor or pursuing online business compared to going down the traditional 9 to 5 path. You're able to just get the deal across a lot easier. It makes the sales process for the actual closers and setters a lot easier. A lot of the closing is going to be done in the actual content itself and having very good middle of funnel and bottom of funnel content. The same thing with the value driven content too. This is very good middle and bottom of funnel content where you're showcasing results, you're showcasing mentee results, client results, personal results, and kind of the breakdowns on how all that even happened to begin with, right? So we obviously integrated this content strategy, and we had Chase posting 5 to 6 times per day on Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok, and then would post 1 time per week on YouTube. And with this, we were able to grow his Instagram to about 12,000 followers. This is an old screenshot. He's at like 11.8 thousand right now on Instagram. And then we got him up to 650 subscribers on YouTube and drove all of this traffic into a very high converting funnel, which I'll showcase right now. And that high converting funnel is the typical VSL application call funnel. It's one of my favorite funnels. It's very, very well. It works very, very well, but you have to do it in the right way. So kind of how that funnel works is you're going to have organic or paid traffic coming in. They're going to be coming into a VSL opt-in page where you're collecting their name, their phone number, and their email. And then after you collect their name, phone number, email, they get sent to a main VSL page, which will have a 10 to 15 minute VSL that kind of sells them on, you as a mentor, the idea of getting mentorship, and sells them on your business model as the best business model to get into right now. After they watch the VSL, they'll get sent to an application page, which essentially, gathers where they are right now, where they want to go, how much money they have to be able to achieve those goals. And then based on if they're qualified or not, they'll get sent to a booking page where after they book, they'll get sent to a thank you / pre-call page, which essentially frames the call itself. And then also has, different testimonials and assets on there to do a lot of the selling for you. After they book a call and obviously watch the pre-call page, we have email, SMS, and then sales team touch points throughout all of it. They get on the sales call and then they close, right? And then obviously there's processes throughout all these different points to be able to retarget people that don't end up taking the action. So like, for example, somebody who opts in but doesn't end up applying. We have retargeting and re-nurture sequences throughout all of that to kind of, get them back in the door, right? But in terms of the VSL call funnel itself, here's some kind of key elements you should keep in mind before when you're actually crafting the funnel to begin with. First and foremost is having a short and punchy opt-in page with a very benefit-driven headline that kind of just, catches people's attention and really does the job in selling the VSL and why they need to click and opt in to, go and then watch the VSL. Where you kind of have some sort of like eyebrow copy that calls out the ICP. So as you can see right here, this kind of our eyebrow copy for anyone looking to build real financial freedom, escape the 9 to 5 grind, and create true time independence. And then after they opt in, you're going to send them to a VSL where it's 10 to 15 minutes. And the biggest thing is you want to be able to hook attention fast. And the most important part, honestly, is really just like keeping it very, very engaging. So every single line that I guess you're saying as the offer owner, you're essentially giving them a reason to continue watching until that next line, right? But you want to hook attention very, very, very quick. You want to introduce your method as some sort of new opportunity for the people that are watching your VSL. You want to showcase all of your results, your screenshots, your testimonials, all of your case studies and social proof. And you want to frame the offer as very, very premium and very exclusive, where you're ending it with a very strong CTA, apply to work with me, purchase my offer, yada, yada, yada. And then you have email sequencing throughout all of this that handles objections, shares proof, and it drives people to book a call. So here's an example of our free training opt-in page. As you can see, headline copy or eyebrow copy right here. For anyone looking to build real financial freedom, escape the 9 to 5 grind, and create true time independence. Our headline copy, discover the affiliate automation method to unlock 5-figure months and true time freedom once and for all. And then obviously whenever they click on this page right here, this little icon, or they click on the button, it will pop up this page where it collects their name, their phone number, and their email. After they put in their name, phone, or email, they'll get sent to our VSL page, which again, 10 to 15 minutes is kind of the sweet spot. Each line should be focused on keeping them engaged until the next. And you want to be speaking to one specific person, one clear ICP, one clear avatar. You don't want to be trying to angle your VSL to be attracting every single person, because if you attract every single person, you're not going to attract a single person. And then also, don't include very irrelevant information about yourself, especially for cold traffic. They don't really care too much about you. They really only care about what they're going to get from working with you. But after they watch the VSL, having an application embedded below where they can apply for the Inner Circle program. And essentially what this looks like is you're going to essentially asking questions, gathering their current experience, gathering where they want to go, what's been stopping them in terms of mindset from being able to get there, where they are in their life right now when it comes to working, how much they're making. And then you can ask them questions on like how much they have available to invest in themselves to reach their goals that they have for themselves, right? And then right below the application, having case studies and testimonials, screenshots to showcase social proof, sending them to a book a call page if they are qualified, where they can schedule a call organically to book in with one of your closers. And then after they do book a call, send them to a pre-call page where it has a pre-call VSL that really just pre-handles objections. It frames the call, kind of tells them what they are supposed to expect on the call itself, and then also gives pre-call videos for them to watch to kind of just nurture them prior to actually hopping on a call, right? And having assets like this really, really does a great job on boosting show rates, boosting close rates. But obviously, after somebody comes inside, they go, they opt in, they go through the application. This kind of just what the actual sales process looks like. So all leads, once they fill the application, are going to be filtered inside of Close. Close is one of the many softwares that we use. This is kind of just actually a little software stack that we use for a lot of our clients. But we use ClickFunnels for building out the funnel itself. We use a lot of custom code for it. Zapier for a lot of the backend. Airtable for a lot of the tracking in terms of marketing and sales tracking. ConvertKit for emails. ManyChat for Instagram DMs. Close CRM for our CRM itself. And then Webinar Jams if you ever want to do like Webbies, all that kind of stuff. There's a few other softwares that you have to utilize as well. Kind of just depends on the funnels that you're running. But anyways, Close is the CRM that we're using. And then after somebody applies, they're going to get filtered inside of CRM, inside of the Close, based on the actual answers they have inside the application. So if they're qualified, if they say they have 1,000 to 2,500 or 2,500 to 5,000, whatever, they're going to get prompted to book a call. But if they don't book a call, they're going to get hit up by our setters within 5 to 10 minutes of them even applying to begin with. Same thing if a lead opts in but they don't apply, the same thing's going to happen. So it's a dialer is going to hit them up within 5 or 10 minutes of them opting in or them applying. Essentially just making it as quick as possible to get those people on the calendar. And then for the people that are unqualified, depending on where they are in the world, we usually have geo blocking set up for people that are in India or Africa. But for the people that are disqualified, you can send them to some sort of free course just to re-nurture them. And then kind of the same thing happens. So you'll have, the dialing process takes place for the people that are opting in and unqualified, where they'll call them up. They'll see if they have, they can get creative with their money, if they have financing available, all that kind of stuff. And then try and get them either on the call with the closer or try and downsell them on the low ticket offer, if you are selling a low ticket offer. But how this kind of looks is you're going to have a lead opting in within 5 minutes. The setter is going to call them up, have up to 20 touch points with that lead, and either convert that lead into a booked call or disqualify that lead. And then obviously when they're booked into a booked call, there's going to be different nurture sequences throughout all of that. So I'll show you that real quick too. But after somebody gets into a booked call, depending on what happens in the call itself, they're going to kind of get assigned to all these different nurture sequences. So obviously if they close, it's pretty simple. They're going to get assigned the lead status closed inside of the CRM. They're going to get an onboarding email that consists of their first one-on-one call, a roadmap, access to the Discord or the Slack, whatever kind of community access you're using, access to WAP for all the video course content. And then you can have a time limit integration needed as well. So, for example, you could have, a backend set up where after 3 months, all this access gets revoked, for example. And then you can also have notifications for whenever the one-on-one calls are booked, so you can see it on your calendar. And then for low ticket students, whenever somebody purchases the low ticket offer, they get marked as low ticket closed, they get onboarding emails with all that kind of stuff. And then they'll get consistent emails in the future to just upsell them on the actual high ticket offer. Same kind of process flows with this as well, where depending on if they don't book a call, they're just going to get continual emails, SMS, and sales team hitting them up. They do book a call, kind of the same process as this, right? So obviously aside from the low ticket student part, but if they, whether they purchase, they deposit, their follow-up lead, their no close, they don't show up, there's different sequencing throughout all that. So, obviously they get the lead statuses depending on their what happens in the conversation. If they deposit, it's going to be a deposit call, or a follow-up call that will be booked in the future. If they are marked as follow-up, there's going to be another follow-up call booked in the future with different email sequencing, SMS sequencing, giving them pre-call videos, case studies, testimonials, same thing deposit, same thing for no close. And then for no shows, it's a little bit different, where it's just a lot more intense with the actual sales team. So the sales team hitting them up multiple days in a row, making sure they can get them back on the calendar. But obviously, throughout all this, we were able to collect $74,000 in a week. And in the month of July, we made $55,400 from one processor, $12,428 from one processor, and $82,500 from another processor, for a total of $150,328 was generated, a 61.7% show rate, a 38.8% close rate, and an average cash per close of $3,458. And the cool part too is all the students that got inside are already all ROI. We launched this program 2 months ago. We have multiple people hitting 10K months, 8K months, 3K in the first week of July. It was really cool to see. There's a lot of programs out there, and it's the biggest thing that's going to stop a program from being able to see very consistent results and be able to make multi-six figures month over month is their fulfillment. And that's the biggest thing that you need to dial in, is making sure that every single person that gets inside your program, as long as they put the work in, and as long as they do X, Y, and Z thing, they're going to be able to see the results they want. But the biggest thing that really just was the breakthrough moments for Chase is optimizing the funnel, having a proper funnel in place. He never really had a funnel in place prior to us working together, having a proper sales process in place. This is very, very important for high ticket offers specifically. And then posting content that position him as the expert and as the authority within TikTok Shop Automation. And I will say that part was a little bit easier just because nobody else in the TikTok Shop niche knows much about TikTok Shop Automation, because Chase kind of pioneered the business model to begin with. But the biggest factors that is going to really just scale this offer to multi six figures per month is getting the people that are inside the program better and better results and just more time in the market. We're already doing a lot of the right things. From so we were able to essentially scale this business from 2K a month to 150K a month in 2 months alone. I'm very confident we're going to keep these results up. All of the metrics say so. But the case study itself, it's been pretty crazy to say the least. I was actually very hesitant on even working with him to begin with, just because he had a very small following, and he I didn't really see the opportunity, transparently, but he had the offer, and once I spoke to him and I kind of understood it, I knew that if he had proper marketing and he had proper sales processes in place, he was going to make a lot, and he was going to be able to help a ton of students make a lot as well. But I hope you found this video useful. If you are interested in working with me, if you have an info offer that's doing sub $50,000 per month and you want help scaling to multi six figures, there's a link below to apply to work with me directly, work with me one-on-one. We have a team in place to handle essentially everything A to Z, from all the backend systems, all the data reporting, all the automations, getting you set up on the best payment processors, getting you set up on the best payment processing fees, taking care of all the funnels. So whether that be VSL funnels, free course funnels, webinar funnels, challenge funnels, low ticket ascension funnels, we've done everything. We've done very, very well at it. Running and optimizing all the ad campaigns for you. We get anywhere from about 4 to 30x ROAS for our ad campaigns. Obviously taking care of all the sales processes. We've collected 8 figures to this point with our sales processes. So integrating setters, closers, managing, hiring, firing, training, all of them. We take care of pretty much everything A to Z. We want to make it so the only thing that you have to focus on is posting content and showing up and doing the fulfillment. We're also going to help you with the content itself and in the sense of ideation, scripting, and editing for short form and long form content on top of that. But yeah, I mean, if you're interested in working with us, click the link below, apply to work with me and our team, and let's get you to multi 6 figures per month.